I am your host tonight, DJ Rocky Floyd. Welcome one, welcome all. My guest tonight is the one and only Avon, DJ Avon. I am going to let you listen to some of his music for a little bit, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to chop it up, find out get the dirt on him. So go ahead and listen to him and enjoy the music.
So much bigger. You were looking
I
at
know.
It
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
it look like they go in a whole nother.
Right.
Those out of them and they did.
always love it. Maybe one more. Avon.
Got like 4.5 minutes on this. So if you want to go early, I can fade down. What you go the whole 4.5.
Actually, no, we'll just bring it down some, and then we'll just let it play out. That's cool. All right, come on over here, mister. So make sure you prop your phone up here with the mic on. So. All right, come on over here, mister. Make sure you prop your phone up here with the mic on. Cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down, so it'll be in the background. WNUR 89.3 FM and HD1 Evanston, Chicago. This is the Vintage House Radio Show. I am your boy DJ Rocky, guest host tonight. I'm also in the studio with Mr. Avon, DJ Avon. So, all right. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Rocky. How you doing?
I am doing absolutely wonderful. In fact, we probably need to turn down. All right. How you doing, brother?
Doing great, Rocky. How you doing?
All right, let me absolutely see what something's on that shouldn't be on. I'm trying to think. There we go. All right, cool. All right. So let me get some background on you first. All right. So what got you into DJing? And when did it start?
Actually, spinning, I would say about 6.5 years ago.
Okay.
I was just coming out, finishing a long tattoo career.
Okay.
I was a professional tattoo artist for like 25 years. And at the end of that, I was looking for something to get into.
Okay.
And just slowly went into mixing. And I was like, I'm going to do it, And I picked it up and I haven't looked back since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say? Okay, so we tattoo. That's a whole different chain. I mean,
it's hard. It's hard music,
right? You still get the touch stuff, which is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
So I know you. I've listened to you before. So, is there a specific type of house you like to play, or does it matter, or?
I've been around since I was 15 years old. So it's like I've been through all of the classic phase. I've been through, the beats, the everything. But I'm at the age where I'm at now. I'm more of a soulful house DJ.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm a soulful house DJ. I never want to lose that Chicago heartbeat.
Gotcha.
Sometimes you can get soulful and it goes almost classical.
Gotcha.
Not classical like classical house music, but classical music.
Right. I know.
It gets a little too, it's a little too, Chris, it's too, I don't know. I just love that Chicago heartbut with it. So
I got you.
That we keep a Chicago sound at the same time while being soulful.
Okay. Because I like most people, they always have influencers. So is there like I know everybody has their own style, but is there anybody that you listen to that you would consider like an influence for the way you DJ? Take him off of.
Take his cell phone off. He's just going to put you off. So turn you off because we can see both of you on your camera.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool.
Because we're getting feedback.
Oh yeah, so you turn them off. Cool. All right. Good. So is there like anybody that I wouldn't say you model your style after, but you could say, I listen to so and so and the way that he plays or the way she plays, is kind of like in the realm of what you do.
Always, I would say I try to combine a lot of people that I'm influenced by. My favorite DJ, I would say, at the time when I was younger, and that I always try to emulate is Little Lewis.
Okay.
He had a sound that was unique. It was soulful, but it was also grimy, and it had that Chicago heartbeat.
Absolutely.
So I try to keep that same flavor of a Little Lewis, but in today's times.
Gotcha.
So since we missing this brother, I always try to imagine what kind of sound would he have today.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody goes Ronnie. Everybody has their Frankie. You know, I was a little Lewis fan.
Oh yeah, no,
so
he,
it was like I try to put that together and come up with something nice, influenced by the many talented people that have influenced me that I'm spending with today.
okay. Yeah, no, Lewis is a banger.
Hmm.
Absolutely. No, yeah. Shout out to little Lewis. We miss you, brother.
Most
Come on
definitely.
back home
Most
for real.
definitely.
If so I know that I want to get into internal affairs. So,
Hmm.
but I want to try to,
Hmm.
let's I want to put the timeline together of how internal affairs came to be. So, um, you were doing work when you started spinning. Was there any avenue or venue that you were doing that got you on the road to where you are?
Hmm. I started off at SMG, Studio Movie Grill,
Okay,
with my boys Prescott, Loren, Rough Rock, Gerono. You know,
okay,
we came together and we created a residency at the movie theater, which was something new, something different,
very
but it gave us an avenue to be heard. We took full advantage of it. We brought in a rotating residency, so that at the same token we're growing, we can pull in a crowd, and we slowly started to build it up from there.
right.
Because everybody's always telling you, hey, you got to do it on your own. Hey, you got to do this, you got to
Create
do
your own
that,
lane.
create your
Yeah,
own brand, create
yeah.
your own lane. And my boy Prescott, he made that happen. And that was like my first residency, and we took off from there.
Okay, yeah.
Put it
That was
together.
actually a good thing.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, thanks to that COVID thing,
Yes.
everything went on pause
Hmm.
for a while. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, it was really a good thing because you guys were doing it. Was it two or three times a week, right?
No, we did it every Thursday.
Okay.
Thursdays after work, and we were on like from 6 to 10 or 11.
Okay.
So it got people a time to come in early, but yet go out, still able to go out,
And do what they
do
want
the
to do.
rest of
Yeah.
the evening or go home or whatever. And
Okay.
it was doing well till the world changed.
Right. I got you.
Hmm.
Um. So once the COVID thing hit and we had to go into major shutdown, um, I know you had started working on internal affairs. So why don't we tell people about what internal affairs is? Because again, I think it's a good avenue for a lot of people. So and you guys are doing some big stuff, and tell me the people that are involved with it as well. So
Okay. Internal affairs is it actually was something that was created by myself even when I was just an artist. As a tattoo artist, as a graffiti artist here in the city, I created internal affairs many years ago. And it's always been a representation of myself. It stood for independent artists, it stood for inside art, later evolving into internal affairs.
okay,
Internal affairs is an investigation of oneself,
okay,
giving you everything that we got, creating a unique sound while digging deep within ourselves to give you the best that we have. And that's the whole concept behind internal affairs. And it started off from an art world, it moved into music. I introduced it to my friends and my brothers, and I said, hey, this is the name that I want to go with. I want us to believe in ourselves. I want us to bank on ourselves. I want us to, everything from the logo. I created the logo. I said, hey, we're going to stand behind this, just no different than the chosen few. We want to become so famous that our logo speak for itself. You know, I created that logo. It means eternal affairs is where it's at. It's an I and an A mixed into an at symbol.
okay,
So it's internal affairs is where it's at. And it's basically about a group of friends and brothers and sisters who believe in ourselves, and we banked on ourselves, and we put that together and came out with something nice and developed this brand.
okay,
And I developed it with my brothers and my sisters. And, slowly but surely we evolved. Creative differences made us to have a split. But hey, we still respect each other because we built something. And I would say through the pandemic, we made a real push for ourselves to become a everyday brand here in Chicago house community.
okay. So who all's in the who is your core of people? So
Right now, it's myself, Ladybug, and Melvin Gentry.
okay, shout out Mel Gentry.
Yes,
Ladybug
yes.
is here. She
Hmm.
hiding
Yeah,
somewhere.
she's here.
So um, Oh, and now I know you guys have I've watched the show, and I know you guys also bring on guest DJs.
Hmm.
Is it like a once a month thing for the guest DJs, or how do you do it?
The guest DJs, we started off doing the guest DJ spots. We used to keep our guests as surprise. We
Mm,
would, because I didn't want people to tune into the show just for the guests.
gotcha,
I never wanted to have a show full of 200 viewers just because who the guest was, and then the next week we got 10 viewers.
gotcha.
I always like to keep that element of surprise, and we kept for the whole first year of internal affairs, we kept the guests as a surprise. We would roll when we pulled up the screen, you would
Cut
find out
out.
who the guest
Okay,
was. And
gotcha,
it worked out because people would tune in, and the guests started getting more and more relevant. And
gotcha.
that brick wall that we developed, that I created in the studio, became quite famous, and we call it the wall. And
Right,
that wall has been a host to Vic Lavender, Boo Williams, so many, Terry James, Brett Morris, and on and on and on. Everybody came, and I just celebrated. And it was a concept that I got from my brother Vernell Bird in the Bird Nest. When he took ill, I was like, man, I want to create that same ambiance. I
right,
want to make it where people come here and we learn to fellowship with each other.
right.
Because a lot of these DJs I met at Internal Affairs, and we created a brotherhood and a support system that we kept on going, and that's where it was.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I
Hmm.
mean, the biggest thing that always should have been about house music was always the fact that it was a network of DJs,
Hmm.
and not all DJs played the same. Not all DJs come from the same background. However, the core of it was the fact that we all played music and can contribute different pieces to this puzzle that we do call house music.
Yes.
Um, what do you how do you okay? So the biggest thing that we always deal with in Chicago is there's the ever ongoing drama of having to deal with egos, and I think egos has always been the biggest problem that we deal with in the whole thing. Uh, how do you how do you see the Chicago house community? What is the Chicago house community to you? And what I mean is not idealistically. I mean just the reality of it. And if there are problems, what do you think the best way is to fix it?
I don't know. The problem's been existing so long in house music here in Chicago, and I think it's just because we are the birthplace of this sound. The city is so big, and there's so many talented DJs, and we all want to be famous. And it's like the best comparison that I have for it is, I always tell people, I'm like, it's like Purple Rain. And when they was at First Avenue, and everybody wants to play for the crowd, and like Morris and Jerome would battle back and forth, and it's like, hey, don't you want to be famous? I do. It's that same Purple Rain feeling
Okay.
that we have in house music. It divides friends, it tear apart friendships, and it's all driven off of a hunger and a desire to be famous and to be heard. And it's like, I wanted to play the game as smooth as possible, and I tried to play it as like if we were in the Big Brother house, because the world is watching us at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's like, if I mess with you, Rocky, I got 7 people. Oh, I can't mess with him because he messed with Rocky.
Right.
Or I can't do this, I can't do that. So it's like it's so confusing, it's so heartbreaking, and it all boils down to we all want to be famous.
Okay.
We all are talented. We
Okay.
all want to be famous. It's enough real estate for us all, but everybody just wants to keep on taking a bigger piece.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing? Are you doing anything to make the culture survive, or are
Gotcha.
you eating?
Exactly.
Goes to a hustle mentality. If you're the only one eating, eventually somebody gonna get hungry.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
that's how I look at it.
Yeah. It's sometimes I believe that personally for me is it's yeah, I can't see the value in when we basically desecrate each other, and even if we're doing it in public or if we're doing it behind scenes, it's just to me it doesn't benefit the whole. Um, I do my best to try to respect everybody for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes. You have the way you play.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not somebody else likes what you do or not
Mm-hmm.
is I can't control what they do. So even with someone for 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
I give the same respect for someone that's been here 30.
Yes.
Because again, you know, the avenue for you was different
Mm-hmm.
for you to get to where you are now
Mm-hmm.
compared to someone who might have been doing it for 30, 35 years
Mm-hmm.
because it's again, it's our story.
Mm-hmm.
Your story is your story, my story is my story, whoever it is their story. And however they got here, to me, is the route to the success of us being where we are now. um so I see that with the internal affairs thing that you do. You create another avenue, and I respect it, of where again, it gives somebody an opportunity to touch somebody else's life that they probably haven't touched before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the biggest respects I give to anybody that does it, especially you guys, because again, you guys did reach out to me, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
totally grateful for for the opportunity to. And but you reach out to everybody, and it's not a specific style. It's just the DJs, and it's just somebody who's telling their story through the music.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I give the utmost respect for that because again, opportunities come very few and far in between, especially if you're not a headlining DJ or quote unquote the headlining DJ in Chicago nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get an avenue like what you're offering, I think it's very, very successful for the growth and the progression of what we do. Um, so now here comes the joking question, because before I ask this question, Melvin Ladybug, I love you 1,000%. So, what do you think that each one of you brings with the style? Because again, I've DJ with Mel a lot of times, and so I
Mm-hmm.
know Mel's style personally. I've DJ with that young lady too, so I know her style personally. But my perception of it may be different than what you see. So I just wanted to see what the core of what internal affairs does and how you see what each one of them brings.
Well, Ladybug has been with me the longest. We actually started our partnership at SMG, and it's like what she brings to the table is I was looking for a woman, a female, and I wanted a woman and a female that I would no longer look at her as a woman and a female or a she-j. I wanted a DJ,
Okay.
and I went after her because all of the other ladies that was in this game was tied up with other affiliations.
Mm-hmm.
She was hungry. She was looking for a home. And I was the same. I was the same way. We were the same age. And I said, "Hey, I want to bring you in. I want you to be my partner. I want you to push me. I'm gonna push you. And I don't. I told her, well, I'm not gonna look at you like you a she J. I never introduced her as a she J
Right.
or a female DJ or anything like that. That's my partner. I say religiously. All forms of social media, I call her my partner.
Okay.
I don't baby her. I don't coddle her. Uh, she's a multi-talented great DJ
Right.
that
Absolutely.
pushes me with her eclectic style and it's made me better. I've made her better. And that's me and her partnership, her uniqueness, her sense of style. Because I felt like in house music, what's missing from like back in the day, you had to have a trifactor. It was about fashion, music, and dance.
Mm-hmm.
I still am a fashionable brother. She was fashionable. I like that about ourselves. We had a great logo, but I told her we're not gonna be walking around looking like the Five Heartbeats all the time. We gonna dress up. We gonna still play the part that house music plays. She delved into that role perfectly, and I believe we grew up and we banked on ourselves and we started working our way up that ladder.
Okay.
We
Okay.
met Melvin Gentry, my brother. I love him dearly. Melvin Gentry came to me and he really came on as a guest. And after being a guest, he said that he loved what we were doing. He wanted to become a part of it. He actually asked to become a part of internal affairs.
Okay.
You know, I asked him out of respect for major moves. I'm like, I don't want to bruise anybody's feelings. If we could have a dual citizenship, I would love that. I embrace your other affiliation, but I would love for you to become a part of internal affairs as well. We talked to major moves. We made sure everything was right because I didn't want to bruise any egos, step on any toes, or anything like that. Melvin talked to major moves. We came in, we took a dual citizenship with him, and he's been our brother ever since. He's an elder in the game. He taught me in Ladybug professional ethics, things that we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He taught us when to say no, how to let things go, how to move forward, how to conduct ourselves. He's Mr. Excitement.
Absolutely.
He demands attention when he comes on to the set. His production game is a monster, and he became our big brother.
Okay.
And he fell in love with us, and we fell in love with him, and we created a family. We had a beautiful big family at one time, but unfortunately, creative differences took that apart. But we still wanted to keep that concept, so we kept on going at it. And each one of them bring a great piece to the puzzle. Me, myself, like I said, in Chicago, I'm soulful with a Chicago heartbeat. Ladybug is eclectic with a soulful heartbeat. Melvin is Mr. Excitement with a definite heart.
Energy.
Ball of energy with a heartbeat. Call him Showtime. So,
he is definitely, he is.
Together we are internal affairs.
Yeah, he is definitely a ball of fire. I have a lot of respect for that brother. I've known Melvin a long time, and he's.
So when we play together, you can hear the difference.
Right.
It's you come tune into the show, you're not going to hear three people sounding alike.
Right.
We don't share folders. We come together, we create music, and we it's like a competition. We digging, even digitally digging.
Right.
But we're digging for this stuff that we come on the show with, and we sound totally different, but we sound good together.
And that's what's the best thing about it is you guys complement each other 100% against each other, which is absolutely great.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important because again, with the vast variety of house music, and even I won't even say this, the vast amount of house music is available.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get so constricted because a lot of times it's about impressing somebody. It's about, and I think we spend too much time trying to impress each other that we don't impress the people that really what makes a difference for us in the first place, which is the dancers and the people that actually come into the area to say, "Who, I've never heard you before, but you're really good." We get too caught up into what, man, Avon was playing my car. I gotta go back and start all over. Let me do. But I just think that because with the vast amount of house music that's out there for us to play, it gives us a great avenue of having so many different styles and people telling their stories in so many different ways. It's really, it sometimes being in Chicago can be a crutch as well as it can be an avenue because we just go so caught up into each other that we don't pay attention to a lot of the stuff that's going on everywhere else. Because there's so much music out there, man. It's just amazing. I mean, the amount of music that's coming out every day, just with the availability for us to get it with all the different ways to get it through Beatport or Track Source or any of those avenues to see it. It's amazing that we don't have a bigger vast amount of styles that's here. So I know. So I can go back with you to Lil Lewis in the days that he would be. Oh my God, I'm trying to think of all the places I heard Lil Lewis play. I mean, the Warehouse. I mean, I've heard him play in almost in every avenue. Now, of course, everybody. You said this earlier. Everybody goes with the Frankie and the Rons, and that's cool. Um, if there was a someone else that you listened to that that might have had some influence on you as well? Is there anybody else that you can name besides Lewis? Because again, I know, again, Lewis is your core, and that's cool. But is there anybody through the other times of, you might have went to Mendel one time, or you might have went to the Prop House or wherever? I mean, we've had so many different clubs and venues to experience the music. Was there anybody that you listened to and it was like, okay, Wow.
Are we talking back in the day, or are we talking now, or
It could
both
be.
combination?
Yeah. I mean, if you got more than one, it's fine. I mean, but again, yeah, to get wild by somebody, again is hearing that special story, and that special story being told is can catch you. It just catches you off your guard.
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, for me personally, I mean, Frankie and Ron, they were
You
there.
know, my biggest influences when it came to house music was like a whole different style, and it's like I was introduced to house music from a commercial standpoint.
Okay.
My cousin was Fast Eddie,
Okay.
and I was carrying his records when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
He made it to the Hot Mix Six, or on WGCI. Their rivals was the Hot Mix Five,
Mm-hmm.
and I met Farley, all of these people when I was a kid, and I was around all of this music. I'm from the West Side of Chicago, and we would carry these records in. And to me, my cousin, I love him to death. He created hip house and all of that, but it was a commercial sound. And he took me to Track Records, and I was sitting around, and there was Ron Hardy and all these other people. And I had hair down my back like the barge and everything. And I was like, man, I fell in love with house music. It saved my life. I was like, man. But when I fell in love with it, I actually fell in love with it from a deep house standpoint,
Okay.
which was totally opposite of the spectrum where my cousin
Right.
was. And from him, I met Liddell Townsend. Liddell Townsend took me to Guitar Center when I said I want to learn how to mix.
Okay.
He was like, I'm gonna teach you. He said it's already in you. I know you grandfathered into this. I'm gonna just hook you up. Gave me 2 terabytes of music and took me to Guitar Center. And he was like, hey, one thing you're gonna know how to blend.
Right.
That's your homework assignment.
Yep.
And we're gonna beat that into you. No effects, no nothing. Just learn how to blend. And that was my homework assignment. And I went into it. I put the tattoo needles down and I went straight into it. As I got involved with things, I fell in love with many soulful people that were moving in a direction where I felt my age was going.
Okay.
And that's everybody on the scene. Steve Maxwell, Terry Hunter, Glenn Underground, Anthony Nicholson, DJ Rush, Black Terry, Josana,
Yeah.
a lot of people that I was respecting that was putting together a great sound.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Loftus, it was just so many people that I was a dancer.
Right.
I fell in love with house music on the dance floor. I converted from a dancer to behind the decks.
Okay.
I play with the heart of a dancer. I know if I'm on the dance floor dancing to it, I would be getting down. Like when I come from behind the decks, unlike many of my counterparts, I'm not sitting around critiquing you on the wall or in the booth.
Right.
I get on the dance floor.
Right.
So if you ever mixing and you see me out there, then I'm your number one fan out there, and I'm dancing. You doing your thing, and that's how I always looked at it. So those were my influences, and I love them all. Immaculate and so many that are doing the thing. And I was around a lot of producers.
Right.
That was producing this music.
Right.
I actually put out a track with Liddell. Me and Liddell had a track out. Even before I started mixing.
Okay. That's good. That's
it's called
good.
Falling. It's on Track Source. You can check it out on YouTube if you don't want to buy it there. And we put together some things. Made a few things along the way, and I'm just steady trying to grow.
Okay. That's good. All right. So I didn't touch on it before, so I'm going to touch on it now. So what made you do tattoos? Well, I mean, how did the tattoo come for you?
How the tattoo thing came from?
Yeah.
Tattooing came from me. I was a graffiti artist here in the city, and when I was early in my house career,
you did my wall. No, didn't.
I was famous. So it's like when I was 15, 16, all of my teenage years, I went to school up north. Like I said, I stayed on the west side. I was a lakeside bomber. My art career was what it was. Avon is my middle name. I started writing that, and I was like, you know what? That was the transition. I was a graffiti artist. I'm still a graffiti artist. And the graffiti art aspect of myself went into airbrushing clothes to being a nail tech. From when I was a nail tech, somebody came to me and said, hey, design my tattoo. I went to Gypsy and Skin Graphics in Dalton. He said, how do you're amazing. I'm going to teach you this trade from A to Z. Are you willing to learn? I said, yes. And that was the early stages of Dennis Rodman, Drew Hill, whatever you want to do. I was house. I had blonde hair. I went full steam into it.
Okay.
25 years, tattooing got me through child support.
No, I know
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
right.
So I'm very grateful to it. But when the people start writing on their faces and the kids start becoming more and more polluted with ink, the house person in me, I hate doing something that everybody else is doing.
Got you.
So I kind of slowed down and I pulled back from it. And I gave myself, my teacher said, you never retire, you just slow down.
Mhm.
So I said, I'm never going to say I retired from tattooing. I'm going to say I slowed down.
Right.
And what increased that slowdown was house music. I went back into it and I slowly started. So I'm going to teach myself how to mix it. I'm going to do what I need to do to
Okay.
build this brand up and make myself popular or whatever we want to call it. And,
Right.
once I started mixing and I found out I was a little bit good at it, the next mountain was you got to be a brand. You got to make something of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the internal affairs come from. And the Avon thing just took off from there.
Okay. Because I know you also. I mean, I know you. I've seen your designs for hats and
Mhm.
shirts and stuff like that. So I mean, I know you.
Mhm.
Your spectrum is real wide.
Mhm.
That's why. So I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand the tattoo part being it actually filters into a whole lot of the stuff that you do on a daily
I used
basis.
to paint live at the parties, and I actually started doing, on social media, part of internal affairs in itself. I was like created a series where I was painting DJs, and I started painting DJs, and even through social media. And when people birthdays roll around, I
Mm-hmm.
started just throwing birthday little get-togethers, little throwing little nuggets at them from my
Right.
art side.
Right.
And I would throw them a happy birthday and put together little pieces for them, and just from my heart.
Right.
No other gratification came from it.
Right.
And I did that, slowly started putting our flyers together and things like that. So I wanted us to be
Mm-hmm.
unique in everything that we were doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, your art. Your art for you is being able to express it one way or another. Either it's through
Mm-hmm.
design, through tattoo, or through music or anything in advance. I mean, that's a good thing because it taps into a lot of the stuff that defines you and creates your own brand, which is absolutely excellent.
And tattooing also funded the equipment drive of learning to be a DJ. Let me say that. That ink paid for that equipment.
I know
So
that's
it's,
right.
it's like it wasn't no residencies, it was that ink. So I thank God for tattooing.
Well, yeah, that's good. It provided, man, that's real good because
Mhm.
yeah, because this stuff can get expensive,
Yeah,
man.
it does.
Oh, real expensive. Um, what do you what do you have in your foreseeable? Not that again, like your guest DJs. I know you don't like advertising. I'm not trying to get you to advertise what
Oh,
you're
we do
going to
now.
do.
We do now.
But I mean, what do you what do you see in the foreseeable future for first you as a person, and then your brand, and also internal affairs? Because I mean, those are three different things. You as a person, you develop yourself every day.
Hmm.
Your brand is something that you're always going to have to promote,
Hmm.
and then the internal affairs is what the collective is that you want to make sure you keep pushing. So,
Hmm.
what do you see?
What I see for myself, you said it perfectly right there. Every day, I tell my children, you got to be a better person the next day than you were yesterday.
Okay.
I challenge myself to get better every day. I challenge myself to correct the mistakes that I've made. I could correct. I've challenged myself to right my wrongs. I just want to be a better person overall. I try to keep my image straight so that I can not offend or not turn off anyone, but I'd rather be respected than to gain somebody's love or fake affection. I'd rather win your respect because through respect comes love.
Absolutely.
You can't love nobody if you don't respect them.
Absolutely.
Period, point blank. So I want to be something that somebody can respect. And then what I want people to realize is that you can't match a person's drive or their zeal. It's about the passion that they're putting behind what they're doing, which turns people on. And that's my individual goal as
Okay.
far as myself is to become a better person. As far as internal affairs go, I want to be, I always tell everybody within internal affairs, I want to be like Wu Tang. I want to be this little bitty entity that turns into something great. And it comes from believing in each other. Iron sharpens iron.
Right.
We want to be able to put it together, slow it down, bring in new members or people that can complement us and keep on going and banking on yourself and just trying to be the best thing we can be, because everybody has an internal struggle that they're going through.
Right.
And that's what internal affairs is about. And as long as we're doing that, the brand will sell itself.
Mm-hmm.
When we come in, we try to clean up our images, watch our social media presence, and do everything that will not affect the brand and move us forward in a positive way. And we let the music speak.
Okay.
So years later, we hope to be a big entity and a major player here in house music. But I always want to represent house music. Like I tell people, I love house music like a New Yorker loves hip hop. And
Gotcha.
I feel like from Chicago, funny thing is we're all getting 50, moving up in age, and we're getting better.
Right.
And it's you say, wow, you know what I'm saying? But you want to be able to represent the culture. I want to represent the culture. I want it to be able to survive.
Okay. Well, she got the key to come in, right? Yeah, she got the key to come in. Okay. So we're being rated
by women.
we're being rated by the female gender now.
What's up?
So,
What's up? We just want to look. It's too much men in here.
hey, you know
I
what?
mean,
So,
like this.
yeah,
But we
yeah.
talked about DJ Ladybug
Yes.
here, so we want to get her in.
yeah, come on, come on over here, woman.
Come on here. Hold on, I'm gonna get by you. Move that seat over and get on the air.
Come on, internal affairs.
Come on, jump in the booth like you always do.
Right. There we go.
See.
All right.
Hey.
For everybody, this DJ Ladybug,
Hi.
the eclectic DJ.
Mhm.
So she and I go way back. I don't know how long we've been knowing each other.
Yes.
Anyway.
Since I had blonde hair, I
yeah.
played at your picnic.
Oh wow.
I remember that.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
I was back in
Now I know I'm getting old because
2015.
Yeah.
2015.
Wow. That was that was the first one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Whew. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So we were sitting here talking about you.
I've been listening to
Oh.
y'all out there.
Damn, I didn't want to
Yeah.
because we might have said something
Yeah.
bad. I was like,
No, you know how when you're live on the set, you ain't supposed to interrupt it.
I know. Well, you get to interrupt anyway. So, what can you say about him? Because he's already complimented you in every way, shape, or form. Not that I needed his affirmation of you because I know. So, but what can you say about Mr. Avon over here?
One of the things that we always say about each other is that we say iron sharpens iron.
Mm-hmm.
And we make each other better. One of the things that I learned from him a lot is on the business side.
Okay.
He's very, very like business minded.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything that he does, it has to have quality. Everything that he does, it has to have integrity behind what we do.
Okay.
And that is the most important thing. And so I've learned that from him, a lot of that. And plus, we compliment each other with style because I love clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And style. And so when
You don't want to be in 5 heartbeats?
no,
All
I don't be a bad artist.
Oh.
And so it's like when he told me, he said, well, Ladybug, we're not gonna just wear crew necks and t-shirts and jogging pants. I was like, well, that's up my alley. Perfect. And so but mainly we challenge each other too. Like it's like with the music, we don't share each other's music. We always like, hey, what's that you play? Is that what you got? You played that? So it's like we surprise each other weekly.
Okay.
So it's like every time. And so it helps us each other build each other. And another thing is that he's helped me get into places where it was time for me to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that.
Progress is progress.
Progress
Absolutely.
is progress. And quality is better. What we say, quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
And so it's really, and that's what I learned from being with him in internal affairs. I was looking for a home.
Okay.
And I got tired of being in those little bars and
You don't like the chitlin
lounges.
circuit? Come on.
Yeah.
I said Chitlin Circus. You heard I said.
He said it.
That's
He
right.
said
That's
it.
the Chitlin Circus.
Not me.
Okay.
Not him.
Because
But
speaking
no.
of 5 heartbeats, we all got one mic. Yeah, okay. No, I feel you. No, and it's good to have someone to push you.
Yeah.
It's good, not push you, but more. I would just say more support your growth.
Absolutely.
Because again, with the 3 million DJs that we do have here in Chicago, and again, I'm like you.
Mhm.
I don't believe a female DJ is different from a male DJ.
No.
A DJ is a DJ.
Yes.
Period.
Exactly.
So if you can play, there's no label to you.
Mhm.
You just a person that is providing the music. You don't have to be a gender to it.
Mhm.
And I've always felt that with you anyway. So I mean, it's always been the progress of what we're doing here, how we influence the people around us, and how we influence the world.
Mhm.
Because again, with this being the rock and creation of house music, there's some people, of course, I know from New York that are still going to argue that. What we do again is everything that we put out and everything that we should do should be should be as professional and as perfect as possible. Because again, the influence that we put out there should be the greatest representation that we do. So I agree with you 100%.
Mhm.
We are at 10:59.
Oh,
So yeah, no, this hour goes fast sometimes.
Yeah.
So uh, before we go, uh, I don't know if Melvin Gentry is watching or not. He probably isn't. Um, Old man, I need you to get in touch with me because he knows I call him old man for a reason.
Mhm.
I also call him the shirtless wonder. So get in touch with me, Mr. Gentry, because again, I got your 2 people up in here. You should have been up in here with me. You probably flying to Brazil now anyway. But I want to thank you guys for coming out. Um, I know it's a long ride because I'm used to Calumet City, right? And I'm
Mhm.
even further than you, so
Mhm.
I know it's a good ride. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for coming out. It is the opportunity to do this again will come. I,
Mhm.
I I I want. I'm trying to open up avenues for people that don't get to see this, just like what you guys are doing.
Mhm.
And I've done with Naughty Nine.
yes.
Every avenue I could get to help people and promote people is what I'm here for. So um, tell them where you're at for the internal affairs and the days and everything so they can go listen to it.
Okay. Internal Affairs broadcast is weekly on Twitch at Twitch.com/Avon1208. Every fourth Saturday, we have Internal Affairs Studio Spotlights, which I guess this week will be New Bang Sensei Greg Gray.
Oh, great.
And the Internal Affairs Studio Spotlight is where we highlight DJs that deserve the spotlight. We say if the music's right, you deserve the spotlight. And Rocky's gonna come on the spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. And
Just put me out there.
yeah, you
Yeah.
coming for the spotlight or you coming to the show, Internal Affairs. You
One
take
or
your
the
pick,
other.
one or two. It's the one or the other. But
Okay.
we really want to thank you for bringing us out here.
Oh no, it's my pleasure. Again, I
I
mean,
truly enjoyed the conversation.
I
tell you,
I
fellow-
respect. I like I said, I give respect to everybody. So
Yeah.
again, everything after that is what you show me. So
Yes.
when I got asked to come, I
Mhm.
was honored, and I
Mhm.
made sure that I was
Yes.
honored, and I
Mhm.
want to make sure you know that everything that I do is for the promotion of this music and for the
Mhm.
progression of this music. So
Yes.
anyway, I appreciate you guys that came on.
Everybody
I'm not
that
sure who's
tuned
all
in.
on here. Flower Girl, Charles, I am
Charles
Scorpio.
H, what's up? I am
Yes.
Scorpio. Stingers up.
Yeah, so
Hi.
thank you guys for listening. We are about to get out of here. Again, this is WNUR 89.3 FM and HD1 Evanston, Chicago Vintage House Radio Show. We will be back next week
Kevin McFall,
with
DJ Mega McFall will be here.
Kevin McFall will be here next week. So I'm not sure who he has on, but just look for him on Facebook. He's going to tell you who he's got in here anyway. So thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thank you. Arrows up.